Hello, Bruce.
Hello, Simon.
How are you today?
I'm feeling refreshed and rejuvenated, thank you very much. How are you?
I'm equally reinvigorated and relaxed from last week's holiday.
Isn't it good to have a holiday?
It's great. Very nice indeed.
Lovely.
I trust you went somewhere sunny.
I did. It was not only sunny, but not particularly humid.
Oh,
so
nice.
it didn't get too sweaty, which is always a good thing.
That's always nice, isn't it?
Yes.
Jolly good.
Where are we? What are we doing? Who are we? When are we? Things.
Well, we are now, if my numbering system is anything to be believed, we are about to record episode 101 of Factoraly.
101.
Oh, we should have done something on Orwell, shouldn't we?
Yes, from 101.
Brilliant. So, by way of a brief introduction, 101, a brand new era. We might be garnering new listeners. So
I'm confused. Is this our 100th episode or our 101st episode?
We talked about that at the beginning of the last one. The numerical system is off by virtue of Christmas and New Year's. Let's just accept that it says 101.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, we're voiceovers. I'm Bruce. Hello.
Hello, I'm Simon. And other than that, that's just the day job. We are nerds. We are lovers of facts and trivia and the acquisition of knowledge and things.
That's true. There's a lot of knowledge in libraries.
Yes, I suppose there is.
So I've recently become a reader at the British Library.
Oh, you've got yourself a card.
I have.
Excellent. How exciting.
So, and the reason we're doing an episode on libraries is because I told Katie that we'd be doing an episode on libraries, who works for the British Library. So, hello, Katie.
Oh, hello, Katie.
So we're going to talk about libraries today.
Excellent.
Normally we talk about subjects which are like little and dull and boring.
Yes.
You would think libraries would be dull and boring, but not that little.
No.
But actually, none of that is true. They're exciting and fun, and it's a huge subject. Did you ever use a library when you were a kid?
Yeah, I did. So I grew up in Earlsfield in southwest London, and there was a library right at the bottom of my road, which is also where my primary school was. So I'd often sort of come out of school, nip across to the library, have a perusal. And it was a lovely, yet slightly dilapidated building. It always had a funny smell. The furniture was old and a little bit crusty. But it was my local library and I liked it. Had a good children's section, I seem to remember.
Yes.
How about you?
Yeah, I used to love the library.
Yeah.
When I was, I can't remember how old I was, but they built the new Swiss Cottage Library to replace the Hampstead Library.
Oh, right.
And this was a brand new, exciting, modernist building.
Mm.
And it was a great place to go and hang out.
Yeah. I remember I only had this flashback just before we came in to record today. I suddenly remembered that weird barcode scanning pen.
Yes.
That the librarians used to use to check your books out. I'm a little bit saddened by the way libraries work these days because it's all self-checkout. You go over to this desk and you scan your own books and you scan your own card and you don't talk to another soul and it's all a little bit miserable. But I remember taking your stack of books over to the librarian and really hoping that you hadn't accidentally taken too many and really hoping that you hadn't accidentally forgotten to return any because otherwise you'd incur the wrath of the librarian. And they would take this little pen connected to a wire with a little barcode reader on it and they would scan this thing across the barcode in the book.
Yes.
And it would magically come up on the screen and this is what you're borrowing, and it was a really exciting thing.
I remember when they did that. But when I first started using libraries, we had these cardboard things.
Yes, you would have done.
So you had like a little cardboard slip inside the book.
Yes.
And there would be a card inside this little envelope.
Yeah.
And you would put that in your library card.
Oh, I see.
And then the librarian would keep your library card with a little slip of the book in it so they could tell which book you'd have.
Oh, gotcha. That's clever. Okay.
Yes.
And they used to have a beautiful sort of rubber ink stamp, a date stamp.
Yes.
And the inside of the book would be riddled with stamps. It was taken out on this day and returned on that day. And you don't get any of that anymore. It's a bit sad.
It's all a bit electronic now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Where did libraries start, Simon? What is a library? Why do we call them libraries?
Very good questions. So the definition of a library that I found is a building or a room containing collections of books, periodicals, and sometimes films and recorded music for use or borrowing by the public or the members of an institution.
Okay.
That sounds exactly
That sounds just like a library.
It really does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The etymology is a fascinating one, which is lovely because sometimes they're really dull, but this one's good. So the Latin word libra means book, which leads to librarius, which is anything relating to books,
Okay.
which leads to libraria, which is a bookshop, which leads to librarium, which is a bookcase, which leads to the 14th century French librairie, which is a library, and that's where we get library from.
Okay, so borrow the French.
Borrow the French. But before all of that, the Latin libra got its name from the word liber, meaning the inner bark of a tree.
Yeah.
Because that's what people used to write on. They used to strip away the bark of a tree, specifically birch trees. Silver birch trees were very good for this. If you ever walk past a silver birch tree, the bark just peels off and you can write on the inside of it, like a sheet of paper.
Yeah.
And in fact, I think we might have covered this on a previous episode. I can't remember which one, but because of that whole writing on the inside of a piece of bark, the word book comes from an old Germanic bock, and bock is related to both bark of a tree and birch. So
we talked about it on the episode on trees, I think.
Oh, that would make sense.
Or was it type?
Was it type? It could have been either. It could have been both.
Could have been trees. Yeah.
We need to cross-reference these things. But yes, it's all linked.
Cool.
So have you looked at any particular libraries or particular areas within libraries? What have you done?
So what I've done is my usual thing, which is to go off on lots of different tangents.
Hey, brilliant.
But the oldest, there are some very old libraries around. But it's finding ones that are the continuous libraries.
Yeah.
So I found one which was a library in the 6th century.
Right.
And is still a library.
Crikey, that's old.
Yeah.
Where's that then?
Well, it's where you think. It's at the bottom of Mount Sinai.
That's exactly where I would have imagined it to be, yeah.
So it's St. Catherine's Monastery Library.
Ah.
And it's at the foot of Mount Sinai, and it's been in continuous operation as a library since the 6th century.
Gosh, that's old, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
You've also got things like the ancient Library of Alexandria was around about the same sort of time.
Yeah. I had a bit of a dig into this because I had always thought that the Library at Alexandria was one of the ancient wonders of the world.
Is it not?
It's officially not.
Oh.
But it's so big and impressive that people often mention it in the same breath.
Yeah, ancient wonder of the world.
Exactly, things like that. I've found this really fascinating. I knew nothing about it at all before I started this, but it's way older than I thought. It was established around 250 BC.
Wow.
So Alexander the Great conquered Egypt in 332 BC. Alexandria was named after him, Alexander.
Yes.
And therefore it was under Greek rule. And we all know what the Greeks are like with their learning and their knowledge and stuff. So they set up this library, which was just the absolute epicenter of knowledge and learning in the ancient world. People came from far and wide to visit this library.
To study there, yeah.
The library was part of a group of institutions called the Museon, which were dedicated to the Muses, the 9 goddesses of the arts, and that's where we get the word museum.
Ah.
Isn't that lovely?
Okay, so I've learned something today already.
Me too. It's estimated that the library at Alexandria had somewhere between 40,000 and 400,000 scrolls, not books, scrolls.
Yeah.
Each in their own little pigeonhole, their own little shelf.
So there were 400,000 cubbyholes.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
Wow. How would you find them?
I don't know. I didn't find out what their indexing system was like.
The Alexandria Dewey Decimal
Yes,
System.
exactly, yeah. But isn't that a gorgeous image, just sort of walking through these ancient corridors and picking out a crusty old scroll from a pigeonhole and opening it up, and it's just gorgeous. The library began to decline around 140 BC. There was a new chap in charge called Ptolemy VIII.
The one with the silent P.
That's the one, yeah.
It always makes me giggle.
And for whatever reason, he went on a bit of a crusade to sort of not exactly ban knowledge, but he just didn't like it. I don't know, maybe he was a bit sensitive about. Yeah, maybe he was a bit sensitive about people uprising and overthrowing. I'm not sure.
Well, that's really probably it, isn't it? You don't want people to learn how to do things because they can then use it against you.
So it sort of dwindled. Then the Romans took over. It dwindled a bit more. It was pretty much shut down by 260 AD. But, from 250 BC to 260 AD, that's a heck of a long run.
See, I heard that it was basically sort of degrading and degenerating for quite a long time.
Yeah.
Because people were just like, I can't be asked, it's only a library. And in much the same way as libraries are today.
Yes.
Although the Arab armies aren't sweeping into the Swiss Cottage Public Library and burning it to the ground.
They what now? Did what?
So as I understand it, in about 642 AD, the Arab armies were conquering that area.
Oh.
And they basically, there were a few remains of the library.
Oh, I see.
And they just burnt it. Although the other thing is that the Romans also burnt some of that museum.
Yes.
And accidentally set fire to a load of books.
Yes, during sort of Caesar's civil war or something like that.
Yes. I read somewhere Julius Caesar set fire to the ancient library of Alexandria just for giggles. But it's not actually true.
That's so Julius Caesar.
What's your next oldest library then?
I don't know about oldest. I had a decent delve into the British Library. So your friend Katie will be chuffed. Hope I get my information right.
Oh, yes, you'd better.
Huge apologies. I'm sure she knows more about the place than I do. But the British Library is sort of a composite of lots of different libraries, both public and private collections of books and manuscripts and things. Mm-hmm. It was only established as the British Library in 1972. I hadn't realised it was so recent, yeah. And it was originally based inside the British Museum.
Okay.
Because a lot of collections of books and manuscripts were there, And it just sort of pulled together lots of different collections of things. So it pulled together a collection of works that was previously owned by Sir Hans Sloane.
Yes.
Of Sloane Square, some of whose personal collection of artefacts went into the foundation of the British Museum.
Not to be confused with John Soane.
A fellow called Sir Robert Cotton had the Cotton Library. You had the Old Royal Library, which was a sort of a private collection of books formed by the British monarchy over hundreds and hundreds of years. And then the King's Library, which was the private collection of George III. All of these things sort of came together, were donated to the British Museum, and then one day in 1972 they said, you know what, we should actually put all of this stuff together and make the British Library. But I hadn't realised the building that we now know as the British Library, right next to St Pancras Station, was built in 1997.
Ah.
I thought it was older.
Yeah, I mean, it looks very modern.
It does look modern. I sort of thought it was modern in a 70s kind of sense. It's actually modern in a 90s kind of sense, but there you go.
Very nice courtyard.
Lovely courtyard, full of sculptures and little seating areas.
Yeah.
And the British Library is just a gorgeous place to visit. It's so... To say that it's full of stuff would be to do it a disservice.
So how many books are there in the British Library then, do you reckon?
The last count, I don't know when the last count was, somewhere over 200 million items.
Wow.
So that's books, manuscripts, publications, magazines, documents.
Yeah. Stamps.
Stamps. They've got a philately section, haven't they?
Yes.
They're great. Not to be confused with Michael Philately. It's what's known as a legal deposit library, which means that any book that's ever published in the UK has to send a copy to the British Library.
I love this.
And
what other libraries do they have to send to? Do you know?
No, I don't actually. Which other ones?
So they are the National Library of Scotland, the National Library of Wales, the Bodleian Library, the University of Cambridge Library, and Trinity College Dublin Library.
Wow, really?
Yeah, so all those libraries have to receive every single book. So even if it's like every one of those libraries will have a copy of 50 Shades of Grey in it.
Right, okay. And Wind in the Willows and Harry Potter
and everything.
Wow.
All the Joan Collinses, they'll all be there.
That's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah.
I read that the British Library, because of this very fact, the British Library adds roughly 3 million items to its collection every year, and therefore they have to put up 6 miles of new shelving every year.
Every year?
Yeah.
Wow.
Which explains why the building is so big. I think it's got underground storage as well. It's
Goodness.
Preposterously large.
Yeah, I can only imagine. So those are the legal deposit libraries?
Yes, that's right.
Wow.
And some of the just a few of the impressive things that are contained in the British Library are the Lindisfarne Gospels, 2 original copies of Magna Carta, one of Gutenberg's first printed Bibles, a folio of Shakespeare's first works, the Diamond Sutra, which is a Chinese book printed in 868. It's the world's earliest dated printed book.
Mm-hmm.
They have an original manuscript of Alice's Adventures Underground.
Oh.
They have musical scores by Handel, Mozart, Beethoven. They've got Leonardo da Vinci's sketchbook. They've got the only surviving copy of the original Beowulf. They've got manuscripts of Jane Eyre. They've got original versions of the Canterbury Tales. Just phenomenal.
And they buy stuff. They buy collections. They've got a budget of like 140 million quid a year to buy stuff. So when I was there last, I saw an original handwritten copy of the first draft of Casino Royale.
No.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. And your friend Katie gets to sort of handle and inspect all of this stuff.
Yeah.
That's a cool job. The British Library also has the world's second largest atlas, which was created in the 1600s. This thing is 5 foot tall by 6 foot 3 inches wide when it's open.
Golly.
Yeah.
So libraries are generally looked after by librarians.
That makes sense.
It's somebody with a calling to become somebody who looks after books and knowledge and helps people to understand where stuff is and things. There have been a lot of people who you wouldn't expect to have been librarians have been librarians.
Oh, okay.
Famous Chinese person from the 1950s.
Chairman Mao?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, Mao Zedong was a librarian.
Huh. That's quite a change of career, isn't it?
Yeah. Jacob Grimm, one of the brothers Grimm.
Oh.
He was a librarian.
Okay.
Actually, talking of world leaders, Golda Meir was a librarian.
Really?
People like, you mentioned Lewis Carroll.
Yeah.
Again, started off as a librarian.
Really?
Yeah. Goethe, Marcel Proust, Philip Larkin, Casanova.
No.
Yeah, all librarians.
Gosh. No, I mean, Casanova, that's just... I think librarians get a raw deal because the typical view of a librarian is that they're slightly starched, a little bit...
Prim.
Yeah. Prim.
Yes.
That's a good way of putting it. And always telling you to shush.
Yes.
That does not sound like a description of Casanova.
No, or Philip Larkin for that matter.
No, well, no, true.
Librarians also don't always live in a library.
I didn't assume that they did live in the library.
Well, no, but operate out of a building.
Oh, I see what you mean. Right, okay.
So we've had mobile libraries for quite some time. In fact, in our episode on camels,
oh yes,
we talked about mobile libraries being on the back of camels.
That's right.
And going around that sort of area of the world.
And how it really gave the librarians the hump.
Oh, no. Yeah, so donkeys, camels, as well as those sort of little vans that you expect to sort of be like the local mobile libraries that go around villages.
That's right, yeah. And librarians really know their stuff. It's far too easy to just say that they're, a desk worker who look things up on the computer and say, oh yes, that's over there on shelf number 3. Yes. They know their stuff. They order in the books. They make sure that the collections are up to date. They're researchers. They'll help you with research.
Yes. In fact, if you go to a librarian and say, have you got a copy of such a book? And they say no, You can say, "Can you please order it in?"
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
and they'll do that.
Yeah.
When you go into the British Library, if you go into one of the reading rooms, if you're actually going to touch a book, they make you put these white gloves on. You're not allowed to bring bags. You have to put your handbag in a cubby hole. You have to no pens allowed. You're allowed a pencil. They give you pencils if you want to make notes. But they're quite fragile things. And not really the kind of place where you'd expect to find bats.
No, I would imagine not.
Except they are.
Okay.
Because bats actually eat little insects that enjoy eating books.
Okay.
So there are, for example, at the Joania at the University of Columbia and the library at the National Palace of Mafra in Portugal, they both have colonies of bats to control the insects that feed on books.
So they actually installed a colony of bats?
Yes.
For that purpose?
Deliberately to eat the insects that would otherwise destroy the books.
Wow.
Oh, actually, we talked about librarians. There was a thing at one point called librarian handwriting.
Oh, right, was there?
Which was very popular in the sort of late 1800s.
Yeah.
The powers that be felt that you should be able to read what librarians write down, especially when it comes to card cataloguing.
Sure.
So you need to be able to clearly read what books they're talking about and what the catalogue number is for it. So there was, they taught librarian handwriting.
Right, so that it's particularly clear and legible.
Yes.
Sort of the opposite of doctor's handwriting.
Yes, exactly, exactly. If I can find a sample of librarian handwriting, I will put it on the blog.
How wonderful.
So we have like a show notes section on our website, factoraly.com.
Factoraly.com?
Yep. And there will be a blog on there which will include an awful lot of the information that we give you today, as well as lots of other information that won't be included today.
Indeed. All the things that we can't squeeze into a half an hour episode of Factoraly, you'll find it there.
Yes. You mentioned that you had delved into some specific libraries. I'm guessing that one of those will be in Oxfordshire.
It is indeed, yes. So this is the Bodleian Library.
The Bodleian Library.
Which I think is a lovely word.
Yes.
Established in 1602 by Sir Thomas Bodley, hence Bodleian.
Yes, that makes sense.
It does. It's the main research library of Oxford University. It's split across 5 separate buildings, and it's the second largest library in the UK after the British Library.
Okay.
So it's pretty substantial, and it's a beautiful, well, it's not a beautiful building, it's a beautiful series of buildings.
Yeah.
Primarily, obviously, for the use of students. You can apply for a membership of the Bodleian Library as a non-student. I think there are certain criteria you have to fulfill. Not anyone can just wander in there.
Yes.
But the best thing I found out about the Bodleian Library is that there's a declaration that you have to make upon becoming a member.
Yeah.
If you're a student, you don't have to recite this declaration out loud, but they do have occasional ceremonies where you can do so if you feel the particular need. For outsiders, non-students, if you join the Bodleian Library, you have to make this declaration out loud. You have to read it off a card out loud.
And it's in multiple languages, I believe, as well.
Yes, it's a little bit like taking an oath on the stand in court.
Yes.
Originally in Latin, obviously.
Yes.
But the English translation says the following. I hereby undertake not to remove from the library, nor to mark, deface, or injure in any way any volume, document, or other object belonging to it or in its custody, not to bring into the library or kindle therein any fire or flame, and not to smoke in the library, and I promise to obey all rules of the library.
So basically, I promise not to set fire to the library.
Pretty much.
So the opposite of the Alexandrian
The opposite of the Julius Caesar thing, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. But isn't that lovely? You actually have to read an oath that you're going to look after the library.
Fire. And look after the books.
And commit no arson. So it's not just books in a library, is it, Bruce? You can borrow various items.
You can borrow all sorts of stuff. You can borrow seeds.
Ooh.
You can borrow art.
Right.
There are famously music libraries.
Yes, of course.
Where you can, if you've got a thing that needs some music, you can license some music from a music library to use in your thing. And there are people that you can borrow.
Hang on a minute.
So there are things called living books. They're basically people who you can borrow, and they'll tell you stuff.
The listeners at home can't see the expression of bewilderment on my face. What are you talking about?
It's an AHRC-funded oral history project from the University of Roehampton. It ran between 2019 and 2020, or sort of like for about 6 months. They had a total of 47 oral histories from staff and users of 5 public libraries. You can basically go up to people and say, tell me about such and such.
That's brilliant.
So the living libraries, there are also things where you can borrow tools.
Oh, I've seen one of these.
So the Library of Things is a thing.
Things. Yeah.
And I have used it. I've used the Library of Things. There's one up in Kentish Town.
Right, okay.
I've used that to borrow things like circular saws and carpet cleaning stuff.
I've walked past one in a shopping centre in Wandsworth, and it kind of looks like one of those Amazon lockers.
Yes.
Where you sort of, the door opens and you put your parcel in.
Yep.
But the doors are see-through and you can see the item that's within.
Yes.
And you can borrow chainsaws and lawnmowers and...
Yes. There'll be a link in the blog, and you'll be able to see the kinds of things that you can borrow from libraries of things.
That's fantastic.
There was once a guy in Los Angeles who was arrested for hiding under the tables in the city's university libraries and painting women's toenails.
That's...
Now, you'll want to know more about that. I know you do.
Yeah.
So go to the blog and there'll be the full details of this.
Oh, what a little teaser.
Also, Harry Potter was censored. There's not much censorship in libraries, although in America there is a bit more censorship. There are books which are banned from various libraries in America.
Yeah.
But Harry Potter, when it first came out, was under scrutiny for whether it should be allowed in British libraries.
Okay.
And I think in American libraries especially, they're not keen on wizards.
Oh, so a little bit too much of the witchcraft.
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah. Here's an interesting fact.
Go on.
There are more libraries in prisons than there are in schools.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So you're more likely to be able to borrow a book if you're locked up than you are if you're just going to school.
That's both at the same time wonderful and terrible.
Yes. It does say nice things about prisons. It doesn't say great things
such
about
good things about education systems.
No.
Wow.
Another thing that happens is like sort of heads of state get given stuff.
Right, yes.
And then they generally put it into some sort of archive storage. And in America, there's a thing called the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library.
Oh, is there?
And there's quite a lot of artifacts in this library, except there's a lot fewer than there should be. Because the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library has lost more than 80,000 artifacts.
Lost?
Lost. They have people borrow them and didn't bring them back.
No. 80,000?
Yes.
Oh, that's going to get you a late fee, isn't it?
Well, you'd think, except American presidents have a habit of this. So in 1789, George Washington borrowed from the New York Society Library a book called The Law of Nations in 1789. And they gave it back in 2010.
Oh, my goodness.
So 220 years
overdue.
Yeah. Although that's, that wasn't fined, obviously. They didn't do a fine.
Sure.
There is a record for the largest fine for an overdue book. I don't know if you've got that in your records later on.
I haven't, no. No, that's good.
So the largest fine for an overdue book was issued in Illinois. The book was called Days and Deeds, and it was returned 47 years late. It was taken out in 1955 and returned in 2002. And they got fined $345.15.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, in a way, that's a fairly small price to pay for going down in the Guinness Book of Records, isn't it?
Yes. I mean, we'll get on to the Guinness Book of Records later, but you know the most stolen book from British libraries?
Oh, no, I don't.
It's the Guinness Book of Records.
Is it really?
Yes.
That's brilliant. So the Guinness Book of Records has its own Guinness Book of Records record.
Yes. And in 1976, more Jeffrey Archer books were stolen than any other year. So
Really?
basically, 1976 was a big year for nicking Jeffrey Archer books. I think he was going around stealing them himself, so that libraries had to renew them by more.
Yes, thus increasing his own popularity.
Yes. So there are some very big archives. There's a huge music library called the ARC Music Library, which has got every single piece of music ever created.
Really?
In it. Yeah, in America. Wow. Massive thing. The Metropolitan Museum Archive, which is not open to the public, which is vast. If you're into cinema, there's La Cinématique Française, which is the largest collection of films.
Wow.
Actually, talking of films, one of my very favourite, and I urge you to support it, archives, is the Internet Archive.
Okay.
Which I don't know if you've heard of.
I've not heard of that, no.
So the Internet Archive is fascinating. It's a non-profit digital library. It was founded about 30 years ago.
Right.
By a guy called Brewster Carl. And the idea is it's there to provide access to all knowledge and offers free access to digitized collections of websites, software, music, videos, printed materials, films, all sorts of things. So if there's a film that you think, I remember seeing that in the 50s, you can go to Internet Archive and it'll probably be there.
Crikey.
It's just amazing. They also have a thing called the Wayback Machine. So if you think, I remember a website back in 2016, I just don't remember what it looked like. And you can put it into the Wayback Machine and it'll show you the web pages from that website.
Gosh, that's impressive.
It archives every single website. So it's got something like 410 billion web pages.
Whoa.
It's a lot of web pages.
So someone just goes around taking screenshots of all the websites and archiving them in case...
Every day or every week.
Wow. That's a mission.
They have 35 million research articles and scholarly documents.
Oh, well done for saying scholarly documents. That was lovely.
Thank you very much. 20 million books and texts. 20 million. 4.5 million audio recordings, including 180,000 live concerts. 4 million videos, including 1.6 million television news programs. So if you're looking for archive news, it's a great place to go.
Wow.
They've got like millions of images, about 200,000 software programs. It's just amazing. And it's free.
That's staggering.
I contribute to it because I think it's worth contributing to it. And they have various different partnerships with other people. They scan loads of books. They scan about 4,500 books a day.
Crikey.
At 20 different locations. You can borrow books from it. So you can borrow a book and then you can give the book back. So you're not actually keeping the book.
Right.
So it acts like a library. But
all digitally, not in its physical form.
No, in digital form.
Interesting.
The entire Internet Archive is copied to somewhere else. So it's the only library with a full copy outside of the Internet Archive itself. Do you know where the other place where it's backed up to is?
I mean, I'd like to think it's somewhere on the internet.
It's the Bibliotheca Alexandrina in Egypt.
No way.
Yes.
Well, that's just come full circle, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a great thing.
And we thought the blog at factoraly.com was a rabbit hole. That sounds like the biggest rabbit hole ever.
Yes, it does. There's one guy that I guess we should talk about who is quite well known for his libraries.
Go on.
A guy called Carnegie.
Oh, the one with the hall.
Yes. Andrew Carnegie made an awful lot of... He was originally from Dunfermline in Scotland, but he went to America.
Right.
And literally made his... a massive fortune.
Yeah.
In steel and trains and stuff.
Ah, right, yeah.
And he decided to invest it in the public, the good health and welfare of the public.
Gosh, what a rare concept.
I know. Well, it's unusual these days. But he built 2,506 libraries.
Gosh, did he really?
All over the world. Some in the UK, but mostly about 1,679 in the USA.
Wow. Well done, Mr. Carnegie.
Yes. I mean, really, really into his libraries. But I guess that's part of, being brought up poor in Scotland. You kind of want to help other people to be educated properly.
Wow.
So about this time in the show, we turn to a book.
Was that the one that's been most frequently stolen from libraries?
That's the one. So, Simon, give me some records from the Guinness Book of Records.
Righty-ho. So I've found the world's largest library. There are two different categories. Well, there are a few different categories here. So the world's largest library, measured by the number of items that it contains, is the US Library of Congress, which is in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
And when it got the record in 2021, it contained at that point 178 million items, which doesn't quite make sense to me because the British Library has 200 million. I can only assume that at that time, the British Library had fewer than it does now.
Well, especially if it's getting that many per day.
Yes, exactly, yeah. It apparently has 838 miles worth of bookshelves.
How far is that?
That's roughly London to Edinburgh and back again.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. The largest library hall, so the largest main reading room in a library, is in Beijing Library, and this hall is 21,809 square meters.
That's big.
Yeah, it's quite large. And that's just the main hall. The entire library covers 75,000 square meters.
Wow.
The world's biggest library in terms of height is the National Library of Indonesia in Jakarta. That's 126.3 meters high, 27 floors of library.
Wow.
You've got to hope there are lifts.
I'm terribly sorry the lifts are out of service. So talking to the Library of Congress, they have a much bigger budget than the British Library. So the British Library has about £141 million to spend every year. The Library of Congress has $875 million to spend every year.
Does it really?
They also employ over 3,000 members of staff.
Crikey. Wow, that's a lot of stuff.
Well, that's about all I've got on libraries, Simon. Have you got anything more in reserve?
No, I think my repository of facts has been fully utilised. All of my facts have been checked out, thoroughly used and returned.
Mine, as always, well overdue. So thank you very much for listening. But before you go, can we please ask you to do 3 things?
Let's.
So the first thing is to like and subscribe. If you could please give us a nice big 5-star review, that would be lovely. And tell us why you like this particular episode on libraries. Secondly, if you like libraries, you're probably a nerd. A bit like us.
Just like us.
And you probably have friends who are like us too. So let them know all about it.
Absolutely. May as many people as possible subscribe to the Library of Factoraly.
Absolutely. And the third thing, you can follow us on Facebook, or you can write to us at hello@factoraly.com.
Give us any additional facts that you feel are relevant that we've missed out.
Oh, yes.
So thank you so much for coming along. If you've enjoyed this episode, please join us again next time, where we will have some more fun, frolicking, factual fancies on the next episode of
Factoraly.
Goodbye.
Au revoir.